If you look at what President Trump has been going through compared to previous presidents, it's unheard of. It's unprecedented, the amount of injunctions trying to stop President Trump's America First agenda, which overwhelmingly the American people supported. And to have one district court judge be able to determine the direction of our country is not what the judiciary is meant for. I've actually signed on to some of the impeachments of these federal judges, knowing that it's not going to necessarily go anywhere, but to show that the sentiment in Congress is that enough is enough. I'm glad to see that what's going to go onto the House floor is going to be very reasonable vote that's going to be happening, a bill that's going to limit the district court's judges' ability that only affects that court in which they serve on. So that's the way we have to go forward. I think it's going to be a really good limiting principle for the judiciary. So the federal bench right now has to be very careful. They're losing legitimacy constantly every single day when you see the constant pushbacks. I mean, it's amazing. What President Trump wants to do is deport illegal immigrants who are terrorists, who are murderers, who are rapists, and they're trying to stop that. They're trying to keep them into our country. Well, what happened when Biden was importing so many of these illegal immigrants, literally flying them in from their countries of origin into the United States? They never weighed in on that issue. So it's shocking to see that the judiciary, sadly, has been in the way of what President Trump is trying to accomplish. But we are going to limit them here on the House, and I'm sure it's going to pass the Senate as well and make its way to the president's desk. Right now, what we're doing, we have the full authority in Congress right now to limit the judiciary. I mean, the only branch of the judiciary that was approved was the Supreme Court. But having these district court judges, they're all paid for by Congress. So if they keep wanting to test the limits of their powers, sure. If they want to fight with not just Congress but the President of the United States, we're going to win, because what we're trying to do is protect American safety and protect our communities, and American people are seeing that right now. If you look at the polling results on it, they all agree what President Trump is doing with getting rid of illegal immigrants. So if they want to continue to delegitimize themselves, that's their prerogative. I hope that they don't, because I understand the three co-equal branches of government very well. But constantly it seems like that these judges have become activist judges who are there to stop an agenda and promote their liberal agenda. Well, I think the Democrats right now, they don't know what they're fighting for. They don't know what they're fighting against. I mean, if you look at what in Congress, they're opposing simple common sense measures like keeping men out of women's sports, some things that I don't even think we should be talking about, because I thought that was something that was known to everybody. And that's what it is. I mean, Republican Party's become the party of common sense. The Democrats, unfortunately, too often they become the party of out-of-touch liberal elites. I mean, they're the ones promoting DEI initiatives. What President Trump is doing, his cabinet is one of the most diverse cabinets in the history of our country. But what we oppose is this whole idea that DEI is going to be implemented not just in the government level, but the private sector. Now, we've seen with diversity, equity, inclusion, it's really turned so divisive against the American people. So the Democrats are in a world of trouble, especially knowing who is on the bench and what they're actually fighting for has been really opposed to what the American people want. What we want is save communities, we want to stop fentanyl, and we want to deport these terrorists, illegals, and the rapists and murderers who have come into our country because of Joe Biden's disastrous border. I'm from Arizona. To see President Trump literally in 2 months get the border encounters go 97% decrease. It's shocking. It's amazing to see that type of results. That's why the American people voted for President Trump, and unfortunately you see these judges trying to stop that. I was really proud to see President Trump issue that executive order on protecting our elections. And I worked in Congress to introduce legislation to codify that executive order as well just yesterday, alongside Congresswoman Claudia Tenney of New York. And it's important because people like me and Congresswoman Tenney, we understand that election integrity matters. And I want everybody to know that there's never been a disenfranchised voter because of election integrity. Disenfranchisement is because of election fraud, and President Trump is trying to prevent that. And now you have people all over all these state AGs trying to fight this order. If you look at Mark Elias, that attorney, what are they exactly trying to fight? I mean, voter ID is common sense. This is what many other countries have. These mail-in ballots, we understand that when they have unlimited mail-in ballots that have no excuse mail-in ballots, it's a problem. So President Trump's going to be aggressive in election integrity, and I'm going to have his back here in Congress. And we have to understand that the DOJ, the Department of Justice, under Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, we have to start getting aggressive with so much of the fraud in our elections. So I was really proud to see what President Trump did. And if you look at exactly right, Wisconsin overwhelmingly voted for voter ID because, once again, it is a common sense solution that the American people want, and that's what we're here to fight for.